Welcome to Kutch time. Today is January 4th, 2025, and the Detroit Pistons just beat the Cleveland Cavaliers 114 to 110, moving to 26-9 in the NBA season. The Pistons are able to hold off a comeback from the Cavs thanks to a monster second quarter by Danish Jenkins. He had 21 points off 7-7 shooting, 6 of them being three-pointers, and one was a buzzer beater three from the hash mark. It was the most points in the second quarter for the Pistons since Blake Griffin in 2019, and he only had 22 points. So Daniel Jenkins was that close to beating him. There was so much to like from the Pistons tonight, and it was a lot of guys working for this one. Cade Cunningham, he's a superstar. He's trying to do everything every night, and he does 27 points, 7 assists, 6 rebounds, and he's had a bit of struggle with his field goal percentage last few games, but he's made up of that because he has a respectful whistle out of nowhere now. It took so many seasons for him to get the respect from the refs, and he was given that tonight by Scott Foster. He had 11 free throws, and that's really what made up from the poor shooting night he had. I think it was only 7 for 22 or something like that. Danish Jenkins finishes. He has 21 points second quarter. He only finishes. I have 25 points, 5 assists, 6 threes. Obviously, like I said in the short recap, but I don't see how there's a way once his two-way expires. I think he has about, after this, 15 games left in the two-way contract before he has to either move on, Pistons have to move on for him, or the Pistons give him a full standard contract. And obviously, I believe that's after the trade deadline. So it will obviously be a huge time to figure out some roster movements, who makes it, who doesn't. Daniel Jenkins has to be one that makes it. During the 13-game win streak, he was huge for us. He's had a couple games since then. He's kind of gotten benched since then, since some guys have gotten healthy. But now with a couple injuries, he got a role again, and he shows why he should have a role, not just when we need to have him in because of injuries, but just have a role normally, because he is a very good player. He is a scorer, and he can run the game. He can be a point guard for the team, and when we need it. And every time he is, it seems like he shows it, especially when he needs to be. He steps up even more than he does on an average night. So I don't see how you can not play Daniel Jenkins every night, let alone just not have him on a standard contract. Uh, Duncan Robinson at 12 points. Okay, night, just with some scoring from him. Ron Holland, 8 points, 10 rebounds, just feisty like he's every night. I think he was only about 2 for 10 shooting wise, maybe 3 for 10, but he had a 3-pointer tonight, which is nice to see. Stewart, 8 points, 3 blocks, one be an extremely timely block on Donovan Mitchell with less than a minute left. That led Pistons rolling up 2, so it stopped them tying the game at that point. And then it also led to another point for the Pistons being able to make it a 4-point game instead of just back to a lead. Asar Thompson, 8 points, 8 rebounds, and he has the clutchest bucket of the game. The Danish Jenkins had an open like corner mid range shot. He misses it. It goes off the rim, and then Asar Thompson there for the tip in, and that's what puts the Pistons up 4 with, I think it was about 37 seconds left. Actually no, I think it was way less than that. Sorry, I think it was probably 17 seconds left, I think. And that's what really put the Pistons ahead and made it almost impossible for the Cavs to come back. They almost did. They made a 3-pointer, but Daniel Jenkins made all the foul shots he needed. So it wasn't a question. So that putback is what got the Pistons the guaranteed win. Javonte Green, everyone's calling him Woo. 11 points, 3 threes. Most of his threes were very timely. They were open. They were kind of, the Pistons needed a bucket. It was momentum having, it was momentum setting, it was getting away from these Cavs dominant runs, and Javonte Green was there. And Javonte Green's defense has been very under appreciated, I'd say. He's definitely one of the better defenders. I mean, he's not, obviously not an Asari, he's not an Isaiah Stewart, he's not any of those guys, but for a role player, his defense is above average. And he shows that every night. He's trying every night on both ends. And he was the late free agent sign. He was the last guy the Pistons added to this team from free agency. That wasn't like a two-way contract. Maybe there's some other like two-way guys we signed. But Javonte Green was the last like true guy who could be in the rotation. And I think a lot of Pistons fans, when we signed him, did not expect him to have as big of a role as he has this season. But JB Bickerstaff gave him that role, gave him the minutes, and he showed up. And I know, I mean, he's never going to have a monster game, but it seems very rare Javonte Green has a poor game. And a game like tonight, he steps up when he needs to, and he helps the Pistons get a win, like he has time in and time out throughout the whole season for the Pistons. Obviously, there's some things not to like. The injuries have hit the Pistons again. We've had a few weeks that we were healthy, and actually the Pistons were struggling during that. But Jalen Duren is out for he got hurt against Miami. Tobias Harris has already been hurt, and he has 2 more weeks out now, or at least he'll be reevaluated in 2 weeks. So who knows that. But I guess there's a potential Tobias Harris has played his last game in a Pistons jersey. Since trade season is coming up, and he is a very big candidate for the Pistons to trade since he's an expiring contract, and he's a good cap filler. So he's very. There's a chance that he won't play again for the Pistons in the Pistons jersey. Like Harrisburg said today, whatever. And the only other thing, since the Pistons kind of all their major struggles, they made up for it. The first quarter was terrible for the Pistons. They were down, I believe, 9. It could have been a lot more. The Cavs also struggled today quite a bit, but they had 60 turnovers, but only 7 of them were in the first quarter. So second through fourth quarter, 9 total turnovers. That's about average in 3 quarters of game. First quarter, 7 turnovers, and that's why we lost so badly, and that's why we've struggled so badly the past 2 games. There's turnover issues. Just got to control it. Just can't let that happen, and that's what really lets games go away from us. Is we just keep turning the ball in bad situations and giving the other team easy points. So it's always like at the 3 point line when these turnovers are happening. They're unforced errors, and so just easy fast break for easy points, and there's almost no chance for a transition defense to get even sort of set to make a contest. Um, Next game's tomorrow. It is a back-to-back. It's a very big back-to-back. So likely it's short travels from Cleveland to Detroit since they're at home again tomorrow, but it's against the Knicks, who's the second team in the East and trying to take our first spot. But they've also struggled around a 3-game losing streak right now. So I think even if they do win tomorrow, they'll still be at least a game back from the first seed. So Pistons still will have some leeway. But if the Pistons are able to win that, huge games, huge momentum, like key point of the season almost. If they're able to win today, which they did, and they're able to win tomorrow, and really put themselves in that first seed again, I think it'll be about a 4-game lead over the Knicks at that point. So hopefully they can win that, and hopefully they can get that big lead on the first seed like we had earlier in the season. Thank you.